Hello, my brothers and my sisters. Hello, my Arsenal futurites to the whole wide world. How you doing? It's so good to be back. Wow, I was supposed to post during the week, but I just couldn't do it. I was so tired, and my doctor has been as I've been saying to you guys for a while. I've been told to take a bit of a break, and so on because I was exhausted. I've been exhausted, and I was exhausted again last week and so on. So I've got to be very, very careful. I've got to be slowing down a bit. So I hope you guys are all right out there and so on. Don't forget to smash a like on the videos if you can. Don't forget to hype the videos. So like, hype, share, comment, subscribe. That sounds kind of nice, isn't it? As I'm talking to you, my guys, I'm watching the Celtic and Rangers game, the old firm derby, which is being played at Ibrox. That's Rangers' stadium, and it's just finished 2-2. And there's a bit of a aftermath. A lot the Rangers and Celtic players are kicking off because I think Celtic scored literally a last minute penalty, and then the Rangers guys are going after the Celtic guys. It's a little bit untidy at the moment, but it was 2-2. But Celtic should have won the game. They've been the better side, from what I've been seeing. I only watched the game in the second half, but they were losing 2-0, I think, and they came back. Martin O'Neill's doing a good job up there. Still good at Martin O'Neill. Looks very, very energetic, considering he's over his 70s. Anyway, so we're here to talk about the game, the North London game. So all week I've been hearing, I've got friends telling me, calling me, my fellow Arsenal friends telling me, "Oh, North London is red," and I've got some of my Spurs friends who support, some of my Spurs supporting friends saying, saying we're lucky to win and so on. And I do have some things to say about Arsenal. You know, uh, I'll say it as we go on in the video. But for the time being, I want to quickly go through the goals. It was a good match. It was a good game. It put us back to, I think, how many points was it back to? I think it put us back to, because I know that Man City played, didn't they? But they played before us. They played after Newcastle. Then we played the Sunday. That was a Saturday. Then we played the Sunday, didn't we? Yeah, we played the Sunday, and then that was so we went back to 5 points, and now Man City beat Leeds last night 1-0 at Ellen Road, so it's back to 2 points, level on games, obviously. So now we're playing again against Chelsea today, which I'll do a preview of that match after this review of the Spurs game. So we have to win that game at home against Chelsea. But City at the moment, they're breathing down our necks, as we know they would, because when it comes to chasing a team down, you don't want to be being chased by City, because City will chase you down until they catch you, then surpass you. But anyway, the first goal was scored by Arsenal by Eberechi Eza. I'm hearing a lot of people calling him Eza. I say Eze, but I'll say Eza. I'll join the crowd. Eza scored after a good ball from Yerin Timber coming from the right hand side, and then Eza flicked it up and volleyed it in, a bit similar to the goal against Crystal Palace that he scored earlier in the season, where he just flicks it up and he volleyed it. He's very, very spectacular in his finishing, Eberechi Eza, and that was his fourth goal thus far against Spurs this season. Because remember, he scored a hat trick in the corresponding fixture at the Emirates earlier in the season, and also it was 4-1 that day as well. He scored a hat trick in that game as well. Uh, so that was a very similar goal to what he scored against Crystal Palace's old club in one of the games we played against them. I think it was a league game, wasn't it? Was it the league game? Yeah, I think it was a league game. Or was it we played them in the Caribou Cup? I'm trying to remember what game it was. But it was one of those games anyway. And then not long after that, they said that you're most vulnerable after you've conceded a goal. And within about, I don't know, 45, 60 seconds, we conceded a stupid goal. Declan Rice trying to play the ball out, trying to run the ball out of defence, and he got caught. And he was talking a lot in the media that week as well, last week, about Arsenal trying to galvanise the troops and so on, and that he's really talking about Ballon d'Or. There's a lot of Ballon d'Or talks and trophy talks, and he ran the ball and then he got caught. And of course, is it Kola Muinde? I can't pronounce his name. Scored. I think it was only his second goal for Spurs. It's so typical that players seem to score their first goal or among their first goals against us. But it was 1-1. within a minute, and I was so cheesed off of that, so cheesed off, and so too the Arsenal fans who I know. And anyway, it was 1-1, and then it was played out until half time. Arsenal to be fair, apart from that little bit mistake by Declan Rice, we looked okay, but we have to be careful. We have to concentrate. We're heading into a critical part of the season now where we can't take off the pedal. We're going to be focusing 100% in every single game. It was 1-1 at half time. The second half, I thought we came out the traps quite well in the second half, Arsenal. Even though Spurs had a bit of the ball as well. But when we came forward, I think it's about the third time we came forward, and then Gyökeres scored. I think it was about a couple of minutes into the second half. Gyökeres scored a wonderful goal, probably the best goal of the night or best goal of the day, where the ball was played in and he just turned, swivel, and he just shot in one movement. It was a brilliant goal. We do have a tendency of scoring some very good goals at White Hart, either the old ground or this ground, White Hart Lane. I remember Fabregas scored a belter some years ago, and also Adebayo scored a goal where he flicked it up and he turned and he swiveled. A bit more spectacular than the Eza goal as well. We do score some crackers. Even Rosicky, Thomas Rosicky scored a very good goal for us at White Hart Lane as well some years ago. So we do have a tendency of scoring some very good goals on their own pitch. And if you want to go back even further, back in I think it might be 1980, when I was only about two at the time or three, and I remember Liam Brady. No, I don't remember, but I remember seeing Liam Brady in the highlights reels because I was too young. William Brady scored a wonderful goal from about, I don't know, it was just a wonderful cracking shot from about 40 or 50 yards out. So we beat them 5-0 as well on their own patch, White Hart Lane. And this is 2 years after they got relegated, because they got relegated in 78, and this was 1980. We beat them 5-0, with Brady scored a peach of a goal. Go on YouTube if you want to see it. Go on YouTube. Just put in 1980, Spurs 0, Arsenal 5. You'll see it. Yes, so we do have a tendency to score some spectacular goals against them in their ground. So that's 2-1. Yoko scored a wonderful goal. And of course, the celebration, which I can't do, because I'm holding the phone with this hand, and I've got this hand free. And but one day, don't worry, we're going to arrange. We're going to get some. We're going to get some tables and put the phone on so we can speak to you hands free. 3-1 soon occurred with Eberechi Eze scoring now his fifth goal against Spurs in only 2 games. Where Saka could have scored, he was put through. Saka's shot was saved by Vicario. Vicario parried the ball, and Eza follows up, slides the ball in for 3-1. In between that, or just before that, Spurs could have had a goal, but it was disallowed. It was chalked for offside. And so it was disallowed, and then we scored. Eza scored, as I said, came down, Eza scored after Saka's shot was saved for 3-1 to Arsenal. And then not long after that, or a few minutes after that, we scored a fourth goal. Victor Gyökeres coming in, manhandling one of their defenders. I can't remember who it was now. Coming in from that side, his body was too strong for the Spurs defender. Cuts in, I think it was on the left. Cuts in, and he draws a wonderful shot into the roof of the net. Two excellent goals from Victor Gyökeres, and I think that's probably his best performance thus far since joining Arsenal. Scoring 2 excellent goals against a team which is supposed to be a good team, but they're in poor form, Spurs, and some people are even saying that they can actually get relegated. I personally don't think they'll get relegated. I think they'll just come out of it. They've got Fulham coming up a bit later, which I'll probably be watching until our game starts against Chelsea. But I think they'll just about. I think they'll win probably a couple of games, and they'll ease away a bit from the drop. So I think Spurs will be okay. Even though it would be fun if they got relegated. Can you imagine? People like Expressions and those guys and Digi Spurs and Henry Talks Football. It'd be crazy. And Farad. It'd be crazy. Spurs have got a number of fans in the media as well. They're a media darling club. Unlike Arsenal, who are not really liked by the media, Spurs, Manchester United, and Liverpool, the 3 media darlings of the in football in this country, in England. Those are the 3 most loved clubs. Those 3 clubs: Spurs, Manchester United, Liverpool. Arsenal really loved Chelsea are not really loved. The Man City are not really loved as well. I don't think Newcastle are loved as well. Because I remember when I was growing up, they used to always be picking on Newcastle. You know, another club that they love is West Ham. West Ham seem to be another one of their favourite clubs for whatever reason. Some of these things I noticed because I observe a lot of things, and I've done my research, and maybe one day we'll come on here when I've got the time and we break it down for you guys. But and it was 4-1 to Arsenal. They had another. Spurs could have had another goal. I think it was just before we scored the fourth goal that they came forward and a shot. Can't remember who took the shot, but it was trickling over the line. And David Raya got back just in time to claw the ball away from the goal line. And I think one of our defenders, it might have been Gabriel or Mascara, kicked it clear for a quarter to Spurs. But we need to be very careful. This is what I was going to say at the start of the video. We need to be very careful at the back because since the game against Bournemouth when we won 3-2, and I didn't do the review for that match, but I might do the reviews down the line. I'm going to fill in those gaps that we need to fill in, and those games we didn't quite do the review for. I'll come back and I do some of those until we actually complete it. There's a few like the Liverpool game, for example, and even though it was a boring 0-0 draw, I'll come back and review it. But yes, we need to be since the Bournemouth game, we beat them 3-2 at their ground. We've been a bit loose at the back, and we saw that against Manchester United when we were giving the ball away and we were marking properly, and we're very, very loose in general at the back. We can't, if we want to go forward and win trophies this season, win the league, certainly if we want to win the league, if we want to win the Champions League, we can't afford to defend like that. It's really strange because this season, everybody's been lauding our defence, saying our defence is so excellent and really complimenting and praising the way we're defending and so on, and the amount of clean sheets we're keeping. At one stage, there was even talk about us probably either equaling or bettering Chelsea's defensive record from, I think it was 2005. Yeah, the 2004 2005 season when they conceded, I think it was 15 goals. I knew we were going to do it. That was just too much, but we could have got maybe less than 20, maybe we could have got 18. We could have equaled our record of 1991 with 18, maybe 19, and I think we got 17 in 90, in 98, 99. That season when Man United won the treble that year, but we had the best defensive record by far in the league. But our problem is we kept drawing games. You know, I thought we could have probably got that record, but not the Chelsea record. The Chelsea record was too much. And so, but now we're getting very slack. Since the Chelsea record, since we know that we can't get that Chelsea record, we've just been very, very slack. And we need to be careful because we can't. We're going to play some real top teams in the Champions League. I know we've had a good draw. We're going to talk about that as well soon. But we can't take our foot off the pedal because we're top of the table. We need to be careful. We need to defend we need to defend like how we were at the start of the season, or even just before Christmas. And since the New Year's began, I've been very, very slack. The Bournemouth game, the Manchester United game, were very slack in those two games. The Spurs game, because if Spurs were on it, they probably could have scored 3 goals. So it would have been a 4-3 win instead of a 4-1. And that the 4-1 looks very emphatic. But the 4-3 would have been a close score. So people would have been saying, oh, Arsenal only won by a goal. That's 4-3. So Spurs must have been really on them. So we need to be very, very careful, how we're defending and so on. And I just worry about our defending at the moment. We can't do it against Chelsea tonight or today, because Chelsea have got better players than Spurs and so on. So we need to be very, very careful how we're defending at this moment in time. Still, play it in an expansive fashion. Attack, because I love the way we attacked last week against Spurs. A lot of our fans are very, very happy with the way our Eza and Saka played. Saka played really well last week. He's almost back to the Saka of old, but still not quite there yet. But he's almost back to the Saka of old before the injuries. And Eza played really well. I saw a bit of skill what he did where he went past. I'm trying to remember who he went past it was on the left hand side. I think it might have been Paulina. Yeah, Paulina. He just got the ball and he's drifted. It might be a little bit of, and he's nowhere near as good as Messi. Messi's one of the all-time great players, but it might be a little bit of Messi when he just stops and starts and goes and just dribbles. He did a wonderful bit of skill, Eza. And if he could carry on that form from the Spurs game and be more creative, take the chances when it comes to him, he'll be a diamond. He's a class player, but he just needs I think he lacks a bit of confidence. And that Spurs game now, I think would have given him a great deal of confidence to continue in the Arsenal team and to continue to create chances for others, to play well, and to score goals. And I think that would be really good for him and for us as a club and as a team going forward, you know. And there you have it. So we need to keep winning. We need to watch the defence, cut the mistakes, tighten up at the back like we were before. And it's a bit ironic me saying it because we've been very good all season at the back, but we've been loose since the Bournemouth game. I think it was back in January, wasn't it? Ever since the Bournemouth game, we've been very loose. We're going to cut that out. That's going to stop, you know. And hopefully, these videos are going out there. A lot of people are watching our videos. Hopefully, it gets to the team, to Arteta, to the club, to the players, and that they will listen and say, okay, then the fans want us to tighten up at the back. Because if you can't just be sitting on the platform and talking nonsense. You know, we need to push the team. This is the crucial part of the season now. This is more or less like the final furlong. We're now in March, now the 1st of March today. So we've literally only got 2 months, 2.5 months left of the season, you know, because the season ends in May and then the World Cup starts in June. So we've only literally got just under 3 months then. So this is crunch time. There's no margin for error. We've got to be on it. We've got to really be professional now. Okay, guys, I think I leave it at that. I'll come back a bit later on and we talk about the Chelsea game. We're going to preview it. I don't think I'm going to wait until the last minute when the teams are announced, but I think I'm going to do it before that and then just give up. I'm just going to put up what I think the teams will be. What I might do in one of the posts, you must check out our post as well. You know, I'll put the official teams on the post and then see how it goes. Because I mean, because our machine at the moment is playing up, it's loading too slow, and it costs a lot of money to keep updating it. I spent I think since I've had this channel, I spent over £1,000 on equipment. It's a lot of money. It really is. And there's more money to spend as well. Okay, guys, you look after yourselves. As I said, don't forget to smash a like on the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for your subscriptions, for your comments that you leave. Some of you, you've even emailed me, some of you so as well. So thank you for that. The email, everything is there. All the information you want is there. I think even my phone number's there. No bogusness, because if you're bogus and if you come to troll and you have to go, we'll get rid of you. No problem. But just be respectful to us, like I was respectful to you. And thank you so much and help to support the channel. We're only in about 48 or 49 subscribers. But when I go live, when I start to do my live content, we're going to start to stream games, watch along games, not proper games, but watch along. Then I think our subscriptions will grow because we're gonna be doing watch alongs, and I think you'll love that, because we come with a difference. There'll be no mumbo jumbo in this channel. Nothing but educational facts for you to learn off, for you to feed off, and so on. No idle talk. All about football in this channel. No nonsense talk. Okay, you guys, you look after yourselves and cheerio. And I'll see you a bit later on. All right then, with the Chelsea update, with the Chelsea preview. And once again, up the Arsenal. London is red. North London. I don't not say North London. I like to say all of London is red, because that was a wonderful win last week. We're going to keep it going. City won last night, so we're going to keep winning. It's a hard game against Chelsea. We'll talk about that later on, but we have to keep winning, yeah. And this season, I said I want at least 2 trophies. I want either the title or the Champions League with another trophy. If we can win the title and the Champions League, I'll be so happy. But I don't know if we can do it. It's very hard. But I'll take the Caribou Cup. At least you take the Caribou Cup with the title, or the Caribou Cup with the Champions League. I'll be happy with that. If we don't win the league, we've got to win the Champions League. That's how I see it. FA Cup, I'm not bothered about that because we won it the most. So I think we could do that the FA Cup for a while. But I want the title, I want the Champions League, or I want the League Cup, because we've not won that for 30 odd years. We never won the Champions League, and with the title, we've won it for 22 years. So I want one of those 3. Two out of those 3. If we win all 3, of course it's a bonus, but 2 out of those 3, and I'll be very happy. The FA Cup, leave that for a bit because we won it so often, won it the most. Okay, guys, you look after yourselves. Take care. If we win the FA Cup, of course I'll be happy, but I want one of the other 3s because we haven't won those. Those 3s have eluded us. And some of them have won for, as I said, for 30 odd years. Some of them never won. Some haven't won for 20 years or 22 years. Take care. Adios. Cheerio.